Do women care or do men care more about sex when it comes to dating? Last night, my sister asked me that exact question, and this is the answer I had for her. Welcome to Carla Turned On, where dating gets real, sex gets talked about, and the BS gets left on red. Let's get turned on. Men care more. Now, I'm not saying that women do not care, but in all my years of coaching, and I have coached over 1,000 clients, I can tell you right now, the men that I get without fail always ask me about sex. Yes, women talk about sex, but men want to know, when's the right time to have sex? How do I talk to her about sex? How do I break the physical contact barrier? And if you think about it, actually, because my sister was shocked. She was like, hold on, Carla, you're telling me that women don't care more than men about sex? And I was like, it's not necessarily about like who cares necessarily. What it actually comes down to, though, is in society, men are expected to lead dating. It's just kind of the truth, whether you believe in it or not, whether your relationship's that way or not, whether you date that way or not, whether you want to date to be that way or not, it doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to make is, as a society, men are supposed to lead. They're supposed to know about the physical stuff. They're supposed to be the ones to give you a romantic kiss, which is just not true because women kiss men all the time. Consensually, that is, for both sides. But I will say right now, men feel more pressured to get the kissing down right, to get the physical touch barrier down right, to initiate sex correctly. And there's a lot of BS out there all around about how guys shouldn't do it this way, or they should do it this way, or it should be this way. Whatever to that stuff. Some of it is so negative, honestly, and it's actually frightening that that stuff actually exists because you want to be actually helping men with dating. You don't want to keep them single. And some of that advice, I'm like, are you trying? Are you trying to keep men single? Have you manipulated as a man, or maybe even a woman, but I'm talking about certain content creators, as a man, manipulated a whole mass following of men to all of a sudden be like, they said do this and then do that and do that. And as a dating coach, I can tell you right now, that is literally sabotaging behavior for dating. No woman is going to be into certain things that are being put out there that is just incorrect, completely false. And side note, I'll tell you right now, I have a guide. No Filter, the sex guide every dater needs, because I get questions like this all the time. The guide is there and created to help you transform yourself when it comes to dating, how to talk about sex, how to initiate sex, all that good stuff. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that at the end of the day, both people, men and women, both care. It's just different needs, different care. That is important. And I'm super excited because today we are going to be diving into my turned off rant. Drum roll, please. Yeah, we don't have drums in the studio. Although, side note, when my husband was moving in for the first time, he moved into my condo when we decided we were going to live together. This is obviously when we were dating. This wasn't when he became my husband. But he had a electronic drum set. And he was kind of like, I think I'm just going to donate it. I don't know. Like, I don't think it's going to fit in like with everything that I'm bringing. And I was like, no, bring it. Like, I want to learn how to do it. What did that thing do? It sat there. It sat there for a long time. The turned off rant is electronic drum roll, please. Is someone not having social media? Is it a red flag? Is it a green flag? So many people have so many opinions on this, and I am going to get deep about why. Okay, hold on. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop before I get too heated. And we're going to go into that first. Okay, so bear with me for just a second. And then we're going to get into the big stuff today, which is the number one reason relationships lose their spark. Yes, if you're like, everything was great, we were happy, everything was awesome, and then all of a sudden, I'm feeling resentful, or all of a sudden it just feels like my partner is like crowding over me, or all of a sudden I feel like I'm losing my independence. We're going to talk all about that in just a moment here, but we're also going to be getting into Taco About It, which stands for talking about coming and orgasms, and answering the question, do sex toys belong in the bed? Yes, in the bed with you and someone else. So not just solo, but what does that mean and the insecurities that definitely come with it. But first, let's get turned off. Ever go on a date and the person is like, oh, I don't have social media. And all of a sudden your reaction is, that's odd. Or maybe your reaction is, oh, good for you. Or maybe your reaction is, are you a cheater? Are you a spy? Are you hiding something? Do you have a second life? Do you have another family? What the F is going on? Who doesn't have social media these days? Okay. Whew, let's take a deep breath because it turns me the F off when people are like, oh, it is a red flag that that person does not have social media. Dump them, leave them, goodbye. There are lots of people who don't have social media, and there's many reasons for why they wouldn't have social media. It's interesting because I once posted a video about this on my TikTok, and somebody commented, if they don't have social media, it's because they're cheating. Well, guess what? People have social media and use that to cheat. So immediately that's debunked. Because you could be like, they are hiding something. Okay, they could be hiding something, but maybe they're also just burned out. I mean, what a concept. I know. I'm shocked myself. I'm just going to throw that out there. But they could be absolutely burned out at this point in life where they're like, I don't want to look at an algorithm. I don't want to be fed news. I don't want to be fed random ass videos of really cute cats. I don't know. I love cats. But I'm going to tell you right now that when you are on social media, it is not good for your mental health. There are studies out there about how damaging it is for your mental health, your body image, and that goes for men and women. I mean, if you even look at, and I know you're not a teen, but if you look at teen reports around suicidal rates and depression, social media is not healthy. So somebody having, okay, now this is the kicker, somebody having a reason as to why they have actively thought about and actively chosen not to have a social media should actually be a green flag of respect. Now, am I on social media? Abso-fucking-lutely. And I love social media. I actually really enjoy it. It's probably how you found me at some point or that we stay connected. I love that. I have an amazing community on my TikTok, my Instagram, my Facebook page, YouTube, all of the things. And I like what it does. I like that it connects people together. I like that I can get this information out there to help you. However, when we look at this from a non-business standpoint, because yes, I'm a dating coach, and yes, we like to hang out and have fun together, but at the end of the day, my goal is to help you have a better dating life and relationship so you can have success. It's not to just be on it and chat and to send each other memes. We can do that, I guess. You can start posting memes below. But I'm going to tell you right now, if something doesn't add up, it feels weird. There's a lot about their story or their background that just seems bizarre. For example, I had a client, she told me that the guy that she was dating didn't have social media. Not a big deal, totally fine, and she was okay with that. However, she said that he kept going back up to New York every week and he couldn't really explain why. And she was like, you know what? This is starting to feel weird. Something is not right. She didn't investigate further. She actually ended up just ending it because we had talked about why she probably doesn't want to continue that and how it should be a relationship that she feels trust in and doesn't need to do investigation work behind this person's back. However, I will say that if something isn't lining up, it's not adding up, you do not need to, one, go find out and be the investigator. Two, continue seeing somebody that's shady and that doesn't make your gut feel good. And three, yes, okay, maybe in that situation, not having social media seems sus and a little weird. However, it's not the social media. It's the behaviors around why they don't have the social media. Some people don't have social media because, number one, they don't care about posting. They're good in life. They're not worried about taking photos of things or videos and sending it out to a bunch of people. They're like, I enjoy having my little space, my world in real life. Nothing wrong with that. Number two, some people have jobs where privacy matters. Maybe they're a school teacher. And yes, you can make private accounts, and I've got clients who are teachers who have accounts and things like that. However, maybe for them, they're just like, I don't even want to have my students find me. I don't want even parents to find me. I am not going to have social media. It's easier. I have enough to deal with in life. I'm not doing it. So it's something to consider and to actually think about here. Number three, they want real connection. Yes. Social media actually disconnects so often. It makes us feel isolated. It makes us feel alone. But it is a quick hit of dopamine, right? Just little double taps there. Okay, comment, great. Somebody got back, awesome. Somebody hearted it, great, right? Posted a picture, everybody likes it. Everyone sees what you're doing. Your friends are all commenting. You get the text from the friend. Yes, that did happen. Like all of those things, right? However, that doesn't always mean connection. You're not in person telling somebody. You're not on the phone having an intimate conversation with somebody, telling them some exciting news. You're just kind of putting it out there and seeing what sticks. And number 4, some people find that they are healthier without social media. Like I was just sharing, statistically speaking, we know social media is not good for you. There are countries that actually ban social media for teens. You can't get on it. Like, you cannot even download the apps. I mean, obviously, kids are going to find workarounds, but they're already doing that even if their parents are, hey, don't get Instagram or don't get TikTok. I don't know what the teenagers are using this day. It's definitely not Facebook. As a dinosaur Facebooker, right? That was my first social media. I can tell you right now, the kids are not getting on Facebook, but it just shows how prevalent and how serious of a crisis social media is. So it almost makes you think, is it a red flag that we have social media? Now, I am not saying that we are red flags here. Guilty as charged. I have social media. Big deal. But I will say this. If the behavior around social media is healthy, if the behavior around why they do not have a social media account or presence checks out, nothing seems sus. It seems completely reasonable. You're giving this person an opportunity to share why you're learning about them, then it is not a red flag. There's no red flag about it. At the end of the day, if their behavior is sketchy AF, then yes, that's a red flag, but it's their behavior that is sketchy, and the social media is a byproduct of that. And no, I am not for social media stalking the person you're going on a date with or your exes, like ever. So on that note, let's get into the number 1 reason why relationships lose their spark. In the beginning of a relationship, everything is exciting. It's new, it's shiny, it feels good. And mind you, I'm just going to be honest with you, there are actual hormones going through you, endorphins that make you feel good, that make you feel excited about dating this person. So yes, you are going to attach to them. This is different than the spark. You don't need just the spark, but if also you have the spark, then things are even heightened exciting. And it's like, oh my God, this is amazing. And this is actually what grows and builds and has relationships come together. So if you're like, yeah, it was really exciting, or maybe you're single and you're reflecting right now in a relationship, don't lose hope. This is a normal stage, okay? But it's also important to transition in a healthy way to the next phases. And if you don't transition in that way, then yeah, all of a sudden you kind of feel like, oh, this isn't as exciting, or you start arguing more, and then somebody starts becoming resentful, or somebody's not taking care of themselves. So they're on top of the other person to like stop drinking, eat better, go to bed earlier. Maybe you should go to the doctor. Maybe you should get a better job. Maybe you should be better with your finances. I mean, the list could go on and on. However, it is normal, okay? I'm just putting this out there. It is normal to go from this excitement and flirtation and lots of sex and oh my gosh, to then having periods in long-term relationships that feel a little flat, or go through seasons that are difficult where maybe you're not getting along as well. Okay, I am going to 100% tell on myself here. In past relationships. Hey, real quick, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want dating support, don't forget to look in the notes below where you can learn all about my guides and how to work with me. And if you want to follow me on my socials, you can find me anywhere at I am Carla Romo. Let's get turned on. So this isn't every past relationship, but this is some of my past relationships that were not the healthiest. It would be so exciting in the beginning. And yes, there were sparks, and that's a whole other thing too. But it was exciting. It was amazing. We were flirting. It was awesome, great, happy, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, I started to see things that concerned me about this person. So all of a sudden, I was like, ooh, something's here. Like, this isn't good. And so that's where my codependency got activated. And I was like, oh no. I need to fix this person. I need to help them. I need to find ways to help them with their mental health. I need to find ways to help them with any addiction issues that they might be having. And suddenly I was like, okay, all right, I'm going to take this upon myself. I'm going to help fix the relationship. I'm going to be the one to get in there and change and fix and help this person. Okay, that is a recipe for absolute dysfunction. It's codependency. It's enmeshment. There's lack of autonomy. There's lack of boundaries within the relationship because of this. And yes, was this person not taking care of themselves? Was this person probably not in a very healthy place? Absolutely. But was it my job to cross over the line and try to fix and take care of them? No, it was not. Now, that's where all of a sudden shit gets real. You're like, I'm upset with this person. And then the other person's annoyed because you're trying to fix or tell them what to do. And I know in my case, I am using a little bit maybe more of a situation that falls along the lines of unhealthy relationships and codependency. However, in healthy relationships, you can have moments of trying to tell your partner what to do or thinking you know what's best for your partner. However, the difference is in healthy relationships, that might be just kind of like a little snippet. And then the partner's like, hey, creates a boundary, is like, hey, this is like too much. What's going on? And you guys talk about it, work through it. Maybe not perfectly. Maybe it's something that comes up a little bit here and there. You're going through a season that's a little difficult to get through. Okay. In unhealthy relationships, this just continues on. It's like everything used to be so great. What happened? And that's what you're holding on to. That's what's keeping the relationship together. And the fact that you have a project or you're working on this person or you believe you can fix them or that they're going to get better and they'll fix themselves. I mean, this is the whole thing of like you're falling in love with potential and not reality. Oh, but they have so much potential. Yes, okay, lots of people have potential, but what are they doing? What is the reality of the situation? Okay, I am going to share something that I think is so important. There is psychology and a theory behind this around the triangle and relationships and healthy relationships. Bear with me for just a moment. If you're on YouTube, shout out, what's up? Just look at the screen real quick while I am showing you this. And if you are listening to this, which, hello, where are you? On the subway? Eating lunch right now? Are you on a walk? Are you walking your dog? Are you on your, wait a minute, are you on the way to a date right now? That's, get it? Okay, I know, I'm cheesy as fuck. Okay, so here's the deal. A triangle. You see a triangle. Visualize the triangle right now. Okay, at the very top of the triangle, you have the what? You have the relationship at the very top of that triangle. Then on one of the corners of the triangle, right, on the bottom, right, the base of the triangle at one of the points there, you have yourself. At the other point here, you have your partner or the person you're dating or in a relationship with. Okay, so we're back to the triangle. Top, we got relationship. On one side, we got you. The other side, we have your partner. All right, here's the idea. You never want to collapse the triangle. Because you can collapse this bad boy right down. Okay? Here's the deal. If you move to your partner's side, you're collapsing the relationship. Boom, kaput, it's gone, done, right? Okay, well, maybe not. The relationship isn't necessarily over, but the foundation, the principle of the relationship no longer is standing sturdy. Okay? Your partner is trying to tell you what to do. Oh, come on, you got to stop doing this or do that. Or, gosh, you always mess up the dishes. This is annoying, right? Or hang out with me more. You never want to hang out with me. You're always so busy with work. So come on, be busy. Like, this is annoying. Like, why don't you just do this? And they try to manage you or whatever, right? Boom, they go over to your side, collapse the relationship. The idea, okay, if we think about 3 of these points here, relationship, yourself, the partner. For each of these points, the idea is that you stay on your side and you bring it to the top, to the relationship. When you try to cross over, you have lack of boundaries. You are trying to fix, you are trying to manage. There's control in there. I know I'm like, if you're like, oh, this is me, I'm not trying to call you out, but it is just the truth. And this is something that most couples at some point fall into with this triangle, okay? And even in dating, you might be like, oh my gosh, I never brought anything up to the relationship or the talking stage. I always just went right over and told them what to do. And that's how it's done and all this stuff, right? The idea is that you always want to be in the triangle. You want to take yourself and bring it up to the relationship. It is you guys versus whatever problem it is. You guys are team relationships. So when you shoot yourself up, you guys remember Shoots and Ladders? I fucked with that board game. I loved that board game. When you shoot yourself up into the top of the triangle, boom, you're up there, Shoots and Ladders, right? I think that's the name of it. If it's not Candyland. That was also like Shoots and Ladders, like spinoff. Okay, I know I'm digressing right now. You meet at the top, at that point, in the triangle. That is so key because then you're in the relationship. You both are contributing yourselves. Their opinion, your partner's opinion, your opinion, meeting into the relationship. And then from there, if conflict arises, You don't go back down that chute, right? Down the slide, boom, here we go. And then you're like, screw that. I'm crossing over to your side. I'm crossing over to your side. Yeah. And then you start getting resentful because one person is not respecting your boundaries. The other person, and I always define boundaries as having autonomy in relationships, taking care of yourself. Boundaries are not rules. They're not rigid. They're self-care for you to be able to say, hey, you know, we've been spending a lot of time together. I just kind of need a night to myself just to unwind. Your partner says, no problem at all. I totally get that. Meeting out the relationship in a situation where you go, hey, you know, I actually kind of just like need some time to myself. I'm super busy. Person crosses over, collapses the relationship, and it's like, well, why? Oh, but like we haven't been spending like any time together. Let me just come over for a little bit. I promise I won't be like too much of a disturbance. Like, I just want to hang out with you and see you, right? And then boom, the relationship feels collapsed. Okay. So that is just a quick example of how you don't want to come down the ladder or come down the slide back there and cross over. When you have conflicts, it's us in the relationship against the problem. Okay. So it is you meeting at that top, asking the person that you're with, what are your thoughts? Well, I'm curious. How did you interpret that? Let's bring it to the relationship. Tell me how you interpreted that. Taking ownership and responsibility for yourself. When you go and you meet at that top and you're like, yeah, like I was feeling, you're not pointing fingers. When you shoot down that ladder again, right? I hope this visual makes sense, by the way. Otherwise, you're like, Carla is nuts and crazy, and I am not following this, but like, kudos to you, Carla. All you have to do is just visualize a triangle. If you're down there and you're like, you know what? I'm pointing my finger at you. You're the reason that I am not getting a good night's sleep because you keep me up at night. Because you keep saying that I want to finish this show on Netflix and I'm really upset because I need to get sleep. And then you make me feel guilty because you're the one that's always complaining we don't spend time together. And now I'm like, okay, I guess we will. Like, I guess I'm just going to be sleepy again. So now I'm feeling resentful toward you. You're no longer meeting at that relationship point. And this is where that spark goes poof. I'm like, when I say poof, I'm like expecting like, gosh, like fairy dust glitter, like pastels, you know, like pretty pastels. Okay, I know. You're like, Carla, you are crazy. I am crazy. I don't care. But hey, we're all hanging out and chilling right now. And that's all that matters. So back to what I was saying, one partner loses themselves in the relationship. That's codependency. I lost myself in tons of relationships. I crossed that line. I really did. I thought that I was going to put that person's needs first. I wanted to help them with whatever issues that they weren't taking care of, and I was going to do whatever it took to get them there at the cost of myself. The spark dies. You don't have a healthy relationship at that point. You don't have any foundation. You don't have a little cottage home. You know those little A-frame homes? Think about it that way. You take out the main little like rooftop, what's going to happen to the A-frame? It's going to collapse, right? So same thing here. You need to have yourself in relationships. When you get into a relationship and people are just living their separate lives, so far to your point and they're so far to their point, you start stretching out the triangle. It doesn't have to just look like codependency, somebody crossing over and somebody crossing over the other side and collapsing the foundation, right? The little triangle point. It can look like stretching it so far out that all of a sudden, boom, it collapses. Yes, of course, the spark is going to die in that situation as well. Or when everything is about the relationship, you have no autonomy. Everything, you guys both are crossing at the same time. What do you want? What do you need? What do you want? What do you need? It's not, let's bring ourselves and work toward the relationship. It's always, what do you want? What do you need? What do you want? It's too much. It's way too much. You have at that point no individuality. It's become obsessive over the relationship. And that's all that person or you are preoccupied with. And when you're obsessed with the relationship, you could convince yourself in some strange way that, oh, we have sparks. We care so much about each other. No, you're not grounded in a situation like that at all. Attraction needs space and individuality, not constant merging or total distance. You need to make sure that you're creating yourself They're creating their best self and you're meeting into that relationship. All right. Now you're like, cool, Carla, you've called me out. This was the relationship I had in the past. Or maybe you're like, I haven't been in a relationship, but I want to know, how does the spark die? Because I have friends that the spark died badly and it was not good. And now I'm trying to figure it out and I don't know. And this is a lot. Okay, we're going to talk about how to fix it like right now. How to reignite the connection and the spark so that you guys can actually meet at the relationship. You can have a healthy foundation and you can have a healthy triangle. Number one, have shared experiences, but separate interests. That's totally fine. You do not have to be exactly alike and do everything together. You can have your own hobbies. You can have your own activities that you like. However, it is important to be able to find things to share together, be able to go do things you enjoy. For example, I'm going to use my husband and I as a perfect example. He's an ultra marathon runner. This girl over here, I ain't going to run shit. And I can tell you right now, I like to go for daily walks. I like to go to the gym. I love lifting weights. It makes me feel so good. But I am not going to go run 10 miles. Like, that's just not my jam. And when I say 10 miles, sometimes he goes for 5-hour runs when he's training for an ultra marathon. Yeah, I know. All my friends are like, he is crazy. Like, how does he have this energy? He is somebody, I have to tell you right now, you think I have a lot of energy? Maybe you don't. I don't know. People are always like, oh my God, Carla, you have so much energy. Something I'm very self-aware of. He has a lot of energy. He beats me in the energy. I'm like, I have never met somebody who has that much energy. However, he's an introvert. I'm an extrovert. And so he doesn't have the same external energy. He can just keep going, do things, and he's totally good. Anyways, okay, I know I'm digressing, but when we go on trips together, he'll go for his runs. He's like, all right, I'm going to go out for an hour run. I'm like, cool, have fun. And then maybe I'll go for a walk. Maybe I'll go to a cute store and look around at shops, things like that. I don't care. We don't care. We're fine. But we're on a shared experience. We're doing a trip together, right? But we're also allowed to have our own lives within a shared experience. And then, of course, we link up afterwards and then spend the day together and do some fun things together. That's okay. You don't have to do everything together and everything the same. Actually, if anything, that's what causes codependency, is when you don't have your own individual interests and hobbies. Number two, bring curiosity back. This is huge. This can go with communication. This can go with conflict. This can go with trying to understand something your partner's doing that you don't agree with. When you are not leaning in with curiosity, you're judging. You're immediately pointing the finger, right? And crossing over to their side and trying to tell them what to do, or you have an opinion. So even if they're saying something and you ask them a question, can you tell me what you meant by that? They're already in their heads going, oh, I don't care. I already know I'm right, right? We don't want people who think they're right all the time. That's not healthy. The goal here is you lead in with curiosity. Can you just explain to me? I'm just so curious. I'm having a hard time understanding. Where are you coming from? I'm just curious. Can you please explain this more? Because I don't get it, right? That is meeting into the relationship. And that's where you have constructive conflict. That is where you work through conflict in a healthy way. When you lean in curious. And number three, this is going to sound funny. Plan fun date nights. Get back into the flirt a little bit. Find ways to go out and connect. Switch up your routines. This is great because you're reminded, oh, what would you like to do? Well, I think it could be fun to do this. You're bringing into the relationship. Well, what do you want to do? Yeah, that sounds fun. Let's do it. And now you're meeting back into the relationship. You're finding ways to meet each other, to actually connect in great, fun ways. Going on dates and switching up your life, even that little switch can feel really good. And maybe that's something that you make an effort. You're like, okay, we're going to have date night weekly. Or we're really busy, so we're going to plan out the date nights for the month. These are non-negotiable. So we are setting everything else aside and we are going on these dates no matter what comes up. Whether we're invited to something fun or work's crazy and busy, I'm going to step away and we're going to do these date nights. That can actually strengthen the connection in the relationship and bring together the fun and playfulness that people lose when they're crossing or stretching out that triangle. So long story short, always, always, always meet at the top of that triangle. Happy, healthy relationships. All right, what you've been waiting for. Maybe it isn't what you've been waiting for. I don't know. But we are going to talk about it. We are going to talk about, do sex toys have a place in bed. And yes, in the bed with you and your partner. This can actually be something also that we were just talking about as a way to ignite the spark, have a little bit more fun, kind of get some curiosity going, some physical intimacy met with some emotional intimacy because you're going to communicate. That is important. But back to the whole sex toy question. Let's first talk about why sex toys are controversial. A lot of men, at times, feel insecure around sex toys. This is not all men. I can tell you that right now. But this is a concern that a lot of men feel. Or women project that concern and feel like if we use the sex toys in bed, if we bring a vibrator in bed, maybe as a woman, you struggle having sex and orgasming, which, by the way, is extremely common. They actually say 70 to 90% of women cannot have orgasms through just penetration. So yes, that means that you need clitoral stimulation. And with that, yes, you can use your mouths, you can use fingers, you can use toys, like all the things. But what's important is thinking about pleasure as a collaborative and not as a competition. So it is not like, I'm laughing because it's not like you're having a threesome with the vibrator and your partner, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, we're bringing somebody else into the relationship. No, not at all. Think about your partner's needs are just as important as your needs sexually. And together it's a collaborative, and it's not about me focused. It's about us focused, partner focused. What is better and what is great for the relationship? And I get some people feel insecure around it. Some men have said in client sessions, she wanted to use toys. I was worried that I wasn't good in bed. And I encouraged him. I said, have the conversation. Have the conversation with her and ask, is there something I can do for foreplay that would make things better? Or if you don't climax during sex, what would be helpful? And she was suggesting, let's use toys. Let's do it. And he had said to me that what he realized is the toy was a tool to him, and it wasn't actually replacing him. And of course, it's not going to fucking replace a man, right? Like when you're in a healthy relationship, sex is about emotional intimacy, met with safety, met with physical intimacy. From a battery operated device that's helping somebody climax, I'm going to be honest with you. That emotional piece is just not there, and nothing's going to replace that. So it's important also to recognize that you want your partner to enjoy it. You want your partner to feel good. And maybe your partner's like, I actually don't want to use toys. That's okay. You guys can have a conversation, whether that's a man or that's a woman, but talk about why. Why don't you want to use toys? Is there an insecurity? If it's not an insecurity, fine. Maybe somebody's like, I can use the toy on my own, but I'd rather just be connected, the two of us, and not have something else there. That's fine too. There's no red flags here, right? Whatever decision you decide is completely up to you. But I think the point here is that when you are talking about it, talking about coming in orgasms, yes, it is very important to have clarity from your partner and have clarity for yourself of where you stand and what you feel comfortable with. The other thing too with sex toys is it could be something fun. You guys could go out and purchase something together. Maybe you're dating somebody and they already have some sex toys, whether it's a man or a woman, and you're like, hey, what if we bought some together? It can be an activity to bond you closer and even get excited and spice things up for your relationship. And I am really big early on into dating. It's okay to talk about these things. You don't have to just be like, hey, guess what? I know we just had sex, but I'm going to wait 6 months before I ever bring up that maybe we should use some toys. No, talk about it. If that's something that you like or you enjoy, or maybe you're not even sure, you're like, wow, sex toys. I never even thought about that, Carla. Huh. Okay. Maybe if you're a woman, you're like, I struggle at climaxing during sex, but that would be nice. Maybe we can bring toys into this and it can be fun. Toys don't also have to just look like vibrators. There are also sensory toys, right, that you can put blindfolds over if that's something that you're interested in exploring, or maybe that's something your partner likes or that you like. There's tons of ways to spice up your sex life. And maybe you're like, I've got a spicy sex life. Okay, that's totally fine. But if you want to add something else into it, toys is a great avenue to explore. And there's a fun stat out there that actually say couples who use toys together have a higher satisfactory rate when it comes to their physical intimacy. And it also reflects that they have better communication. So here you go, right? There's actual statistics out there that show when you bring in toys, it opens up a whole new, I don't know, I was trying to think about something like dirty to say. It opens up a whole new world. I don't know. Didn't work. Whatever. We're just going to move on from that. It opens up a whole new universe to you that maybe you weren't tapped into before. And I'm just going to, of course, connect it back to the whole triangle that we were just talking about in the main part around sparks, not the triangle of you, the sex toy, and your partner. However, you have needs. If you look at the triangle right now, your relationship, your sexual relationship is all at the top there. You're here, your partner's there, right? You have sexual needs and desires. Bringing that to the top of the relationship. Your partner has sexual needs and desires. Bringing that to the top of the relationship and talking about what are your insecurities. If somebody's hesitant and they're like, well, what do you need me for if we have toys? That's okay. Talk about it. Don't shut the person out, right? Because then if you shut the person out, what are we doing? We're expanding that triangle base so much that boom, it just collapses, right? The roof falls right down, right in, whatever. And you're expanding and somebody's pulling away. They feel shut down. They're not going to talk about it. Just going to move on. But when you're open, leaning in with curiosity, having the conversation around sex toys and what that looks like and how that could be fun and desirable, then you're open to actually having the communication and the connection piece to work through any type of conflict or any type of disagreement or misunderstanding that would arise sexually with this. So at the end of the day, a vibrator isn't competition. It's the teammate. Loved this episode? Rate it 5 stars, hit that subscribe button, baby, and leave a review. Do you want to work with me? Grab my dating courses, apply for my coaching at carlaromo.com or find it all in the show notes, and give me a little follow at I am Carla Romo on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Catch you next time and stay tuned. Carla Turned On is for educational and entertainment purposes only. This is not a substitute for therapy. For professional support, please reach out to a licensed mental health provider.